Hey Eurovision party people, welcome to Eurovision is My Religion, where we chat, laugh and cringe at the Eurovision Song Contest. It's chill, it's funny and it's the Eurovision hangout you didn't know you needed. Join us as we dissect the Euro madness. I'm your host today, Simona, and with me I have, already predicting the winner of Eurovision 2024, Katrina.
Hello. Looking forward to discuss the winner of Eurovision 2024.
Always referencing the lyrics of random songs, August.
There's beauty in the lyrics, yes.
And always ready to bring a controversy for discussion, Gerda.
Controversies, conspiracies, these are my jams.
These are your C's.
You're not saying anything, you're just asking questions.
I'm just asking questions, and allegedly there are some controversies happening.
Because you have done your own research, so you would know.
Yes, Reddit told me that there are controversies happening this week.
Look into it.
Good. I'm sure we'll cover that today. So last week has been one busy weekend, should I say. Today we will try our best to pass all our on-call judgments to across Sweden, Lithuania, and discuss the selected and winning songs from Norway, Malta, Spain and Ukraine. So lots to cover today, and I think let's get into the gist of it. One of the key events last week has been Benidorm Festival, and that is not the Benidorm that we know from UK's listeners, where old people go to stay over on a holiday. It's actually a festival which culminates in Spain's song selection for Eurovision Song Contest. Before we go into the actual songs, I'm just going to cover an interesting fact about the way that Spain actually allocates votes. So Spain, interestingly, has a jury vote, a public vote, and a demoscopic vote. Demoscopic, which is the word I had to Google for myself.
Same. I felt so stupid. I was like,
I know.
I was watching it live and I was so confused, like desperately scrolling on Reddit looking for someone to explain what is that.
Demoscopic. It sounds like a medical procedure, like lobotomy.
For those fellow people who didn't know what demoscopic means, it's basically they select a focus group based on the demographics of a country to give certain votes. So, if all Spanish people are really young, it will be a young focus group or something like that. So that was interesting. And 25% goes to demoscopic, 25% goes to public vote, and 50% is jury, which is quite a lot.
Do you know how big is that demoscopic group?
I think I read that it's 300 people survey.
Okay.
Well, that's not 10
decent.
people.
Yeah. And to be honest, from what I looked at kind of the top votes from the final this week, it sort of aligns somewhat to the public vote. And I think one of the, controversies in Spain, I'm already bringing that to the table.
I was thinking.
Is that the voting is really expensive. I think it's either like €50 or €250 per vote, so not a lot of people vote. And the first semi-final that I watched on last Tuesday, I think there was like 1 million viewers and only 7,000 people voted. So I think they kind of have to bring in some kind of demoscopic survey to at least bring in a few different opinions, because otherwise it's just either rich people or really hardcore fans voting
And friends of family. Of the participants.
Yeah.
I mean, the other option would be to have an app and have free voting, but I guess Spain is not there yet. I don't know.
Okay, so you have to pay a cost of 1 croquette to actually vote,
Or 2
and
beers.
not everybody is choosing to do that for the right reason, But yes, actually this year demoscopic vote and public vote were different and gone to different people, which was an interesting split as well. So demography did not agree with the voters. Cool. I think there is no way to go around it. What did you think of the winner of the song of this contest, which is called Nebulosa, and the name of the song is Zora or Zora, if for those who cannot say anything in Spanish like me.
So, question, guys. Did you listen to the Benidorm's playlist on Spotify before the actual Benidorm taking place?
I stay away
Nothing.
from anything Benidorm related.
Okay.
No, I didn't listen.
Okay.
I only watched the semis, so that's the first time I heard the
Right,
song.
because I did. So a couple of weeks ago, commuting somewhere, I just randomly put on the Benidorm 2024 playlist on Spotify and thought, okay, let's scroll through the songs that are participating this year. And 2 songs caught my attention. 2 songs I added to my Eurovision 2024 playlist straight away and have been vibing to them for a couple of weeks up until last week when I saw them live. And my heart broke because I was really rooting for both of these songs, but gosh, they did not look good live. And one of them was Nebulosa. Zara, like 80s synth pop is my vibe. And the second one was Sophia Cole with Here to Stay. A great airworm, a fun banger, but she did not deliver it well at all. So I have mixed emotions about the outcome. On one hand, the song that won was actually the song that I really, really liked. But after seeing it live, I was really left with mixed emotions.
So I had interesting emotions when I was first watching the performance on semifinal 1, and straight away the reaction from the audience. Like you could hear the audience singing almost as loud as Nebulosa singing.
Exactly.
Partially because Nebulosa didn't sing really loudly.
Or well, for that matter.
Yes.
But also the audience support was just so overwhelming, even on the first night. Like I understand on the final, once you kind of get familiar with the songs, maybe you would see that kind of support, but straight away in the first semifinal, they were going wild. So for me, yeah, mixed views. I really liked the kind of the dated 80s vibe. To me, when I was listening to it, it reminded what we discussed last week about Angela, where it's kind of dated, but I love it.
Yes.
It looks great, sounds great. But yeah, she just couldn't really sing that well.
No, not at all. So yeah, we need those Spanish fans to get themselves to Malmö to provide the backing vocals for her from the audience. So charter those flights, Spain. Otherwise, she'll be in trouble.
I think I agree. I do like the song and it's very catchy and I like the music. So, but I only saw live performance and the first question was like, can she actually sing? It didn't feel like a very strong vocal. Nonetheless, I did like the song still. And the performance was weird. The guys with their asses out, weird but interesting for sure.
Loved it.
Yeah, it was like
a shot on the ass. I was like, whoa, this is on live TV.
I was very intrigued. So I might root for the song.
Intrigued. Yeah.
Oh, guess what did you think of asses?
I wasn't going to comment on the asses.
Well,
I
now
wasn't
you have to.
the biggest fan of the asses, but it's just my preference. And, it's okay. We sit on the other end of the spectrum of attraction. But speaking of the song, I liked the structure and the music and the instrumental. I also liked the vibe. But yeah, man, she sounded like she was just talking the lyrics out as if she's speaking them, as if she doesn't really care. But the audience there was this connection where they were so hyped. It was like they were in on some inside joke. I didn't get it. She was just speaking out the lyrics and everybody's just losing their minds. And my first thought was maybe that she's a well-known singer that's been known for 35 years. And then everybody loves her so much that they're just falling over to support her in that song. And she's just casually walking around and just mumbling. And the final note, I think, is super off key.
Final note.
She ends on some. I don't know but it was
spot on.
I thought, what the hell?
On the toilet scale, whereabouts this note is.
No, it's not even on that scale. No,
Far away
she's
from the toilet.
I think it's the scale of talking. It's not. I don't think it's singing even. I think it's more talking. And I have no problem with subdued singing, but you can still sing clearly at a low volume and sing beautifully. But this was just talking.
Yeah, it kind of felt like she's been smoking for like 40 years or something, and the voice is going, but she's still trying. I don't know, like that's the vibe I got. Maybe it's harsh, but...
So talking of years, everyone calls her slutty grandma. But do you know how old she actually is? Guess.
No way.
50.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought when I
think
first
she's a
looked at her,
good-looking 50-year-old.
when I first looked at her, I generally thought that she was like 65,
Yeah,
70
that's
with
what
a
I was
lot
gonna
of
say.
plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually 50, 55 or 56.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's close.
Yeah, but I don't know if it has to do with age. I was going to make a comment that
But that's
she's
not a granny
approaching
age. That's not a granny age yet. That
Exactly.
was my point.
But there are older people who have a powerful voice, Elton John, and it doesn't. I don't think age rules you out.
No.
But she just.
No.
I think it's not about the age. I think it's that she didn't seem like she cared. She was just mumbling the words, and just walking around like da 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 da. She didn't understand the gravity, or I don't know. But the audience loved it, so maybe we're wrong.
Yeah, I don't understand a lot of Spanish, but one comment I did manage to translate on YouTube, and it said it's not a song for Eurovision, but it's definitely the song of the summer. So maybe that's the vibe. That's why she controlled kind of the audience. Maybe it sounds better in the studio version, and people understand it's not going to be a winner, perhaps, but it's just like a really catchy, good summer song.
Yeah. I think the Spanish from reading the comments really love it, and they say we don't care how well this performs. We're just happy to send a party song that we can dance to and vibe to.
Yeah, I can imagine the song on a Spanish beach party and everybody singing to that.
And one more question: how many of you also thought that Zora is a female Zorro?
A little bit.
Because I first thought that.
Are you about to tell me it's not?
Apparently not.
I think I opened Eurovision World or something, and it already had it translated, so I didn't have a chance to think of Zorro. But
so what is it? It wasn't on my Duolingo.
do you know? You not know?
No.
Oh, you don't?
That's actually a really important point of a song. It's called Bitch.
Okay.
And it's about how she, whatever she was doing, she was sort of treated as she's a bitch or something like that. And it's like her, I suppose, comeback to say like,
yeah,
who cares?
I'm a bitch and I don't care. Bitch.
I really love the idea, and I think that's why people vibe as well a little bit. And it's sort of summer song. It's very reclaiming back, and she seems like she has good times, and she has the right to do so. Speaking of summer songs, any other hot songs that people may want to mention?
I'm glad you mentioned.
Hot songs, hot bodies, what?
It had everything. Caliente had everything. Oh my god. It's basically male Chanel on stage.
My comment.
Literally,
as well,
yeah.
Exactly.
It, like everyone's comments was like, oh, if Chanel and somebody else who I don't know had a baby or had a gay brother, this would be it. And I loved it because I loved Chanel's performance and I loved this.
Yeah, I think that's literally a male version. I wrote, my comment was muy caliente, ay, 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 ay. And that's how exactly I feel. August is looking at my comment, my notes.
Sure.
And am I misremembering? But I think there was only two vote difference in terms of televotes between Jorge Gonzalez with Caliente and Nebulosa.
I think they were really close.
Yeah, that would not have changed the ultimate outcome, but the televote was really, really close. A close race.
I think it's another summer song, right? Like it's a song that you'll hear in the Latino parties.
Exactly. And demography of Spain, or in other words, demoscopic vote, went to Jorge.
Right.
They know it.
August has been somehow very silent on the song.
No, I'm just thinking if you are corrupted and maybe not objective about the song itself because
Absolutely.
you're so...
I'm not denying that.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
No, I was just thinking that Chanel sung better. The dancing, I get that the style is the same, but I think
maybe
he was
you
there.
were, corrupted by
Maybe.
the looks of Chanel.
Maybe. Hey, Uno reverse on me.
Exactly.
Perhaps. Yeah, see, I'm on the objective side of the aisle at the moment, so I don't know.
Let's be careful because August feels strongly about some Spanish performances.
Yeah, but I think when Chanel was selected, there were a lot of comments and criticism that she also couldn't sing well at the time. I think she's originally a dancer. So yeah, that got improved. I think now with Jorge, there was a lot of criticism that his dancing wasn't as good actually, and maybe less criticism about his singing. So either way, I think it would have been improved if he would have gotten a chance, but the juries didn't like it. Didn't like the naked bodies.
Any other songs?
Well, in some of the Eurovision fan bubbles, San Pedro was the frontrunner for the longest time. The guy who performed second, the slow ballad song.
I think he was quite high up with the bookies as well. And yeah, his name got mentioned a lot when I was reading up about it, but I don't know what you guys think about it, but to me it just sounded like some kind of intro song for one of the like Spanish or Mexican telenovelas.
Yes, yeah.
I think you're right.
Good point.
Yeah, very pretty, but very
Also
very
another
cheesy.
Yeah.
Another good-looking guy. I mean, Benidorm Festival delivered.
Maybe we should go to Benidorm. Apparently that's the place to be.
I mean,
except
we keep
for
going
August.
to Spain. No results so far.
We haven't been to Benidorm.
Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna take August on this horny
Yeah, I'll skip
road
this
trip.
one. Unless there's Chanel.
So whilst Spanish performance was great, Norway finally managed to go through their heat and arrive at the final and pick their song. We've discussed Norway quite a long time now, so we're probably not going to go in as much detail as usual, but it would be good to hear your reflections on the winning song, or, you know, if you felt this was a robbery of some sorts or not.
Okay, first of all, before we discuss the actual songs, Alexandra's opening performance. Did you see it? Oh, it was better than in Eurovision last year. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. She had artificial snow on the stage. She was lifted in the air on the crane. She had amazing Vikings dancing around her. Like, it was finally looking like a Viking song, looking Viking.
And it's still
very
the same
impressive
song, right?
It's still the same song, but the staging and the performance was like 10 times better than what she did last year in Eurovision. So please watch it, especially you, August, knowing your obsession with that song and the girl.
Lessons learned, I suppose.
Yeah, mostly with the song. I mean,
Sure.
I'm also very obsessed with just the song called Caliente, not the guy.
Yes,
of course.
I do know where she lives, and
So I have 6 songs that I preferred over the winner.
Okay.
I have, before we go into all of your 6 songs, I have a theory of why she won. Have you noticed?
Witches.
Yeah, she's barefoot.
Okay. Yeah,
She is
and
barefoot.
generally witch vibes.
And
yeah.
witchery.
Witchery and barefoot.
That's the topic of a year.
My theory is that Norway got bored or sick of sending pop songs and wanted to send something different.
Decided not to qualify this year.
I think it's gonna qualify.
Might qualify, yeah.
Yeah, the kind of hardcore fans love the song. So I think it's a strong performance still. I think when we were talking about it during the semifinal, it kind of had all the elements of a performance that I would like. It just kind of didn't deliver till the end. So maybe they'll kind of, I don't know, improve a few things, and I think it will still be a strong performance.
I will make a note that we barely talked about that performance for a reason. Dum dum dum.
I mean, that semi-final had AI robots. So
for that reason.
it's not an earworm. For sure.
It's not catchy.
You cannot remember. I mean, now that we just listened to the recap, you remember the It's like it's just like this sort of aerial sound composition of many layers and chaos and lights and maybe an interesting theater, a little bit like Ireland in some ways, with that theater-like performance, but Ireland's performance has some progression. It changes in the chorus. There's a bit of dancing. It then becomes metal, and it's interesting to see. Whereas this is just static for 3 minutes, pretty much at the same melody and the same tone. That's what I think.
But Norwegians really clicked with it. And I think I agree with you, Gerda. I think there is a big part of the Norwegian population that is sick of being associated with cheesy pop songs and silly entries of wolves eating bananas. And they really wanted to show a different side of Norway that maybe the Eurovision world hasn't really seen that much recently.
Are there any songs, Katrina, that you preferred? Obviously, there are 6.
Yeah, 6.
What's the strongest contender in your?
Kaino, 100%.
Agree. But yeah, for me, Kaino as well. And I will sprinkle a few controversies here and there. Yeah, so the kind of the voting split in the Norwegian final was 60% jury and 40% public vote, if I remember correctly. And the kind of the gap between Gote, the winning song, and Kaino was just 6 points. So if the split was 50-50, like it is in Eurovision, Kaino would have won by 3 points.
It's not a controversy, it's a fact.
It's a fact, but it's kind of, when you try to kind of manipulate the results to kind of, for the results to achieve the outcome that you want, it's maybe not kind of the...
Allegedly when you manipulate the system.
Okay, so you're also in the Kaino camp, I can sense.
No, I prefer Kaino personally. There's not much else to say, in all fairness. I just like that song more.
Yeah.
I forgot about the song, that it existed. And the final announcement reminded me of that song.
Yeah. Well, Kaino and Digida will continue living on our playlists and our Eurovision parties. For sure.
Dum.
Yeah, maybe I'm front running the kind of the social media echoes, but Kaino came out on Sunday, so the day after the final, saying that they will no longer participate in Eurovision selection processes going forward. So I think they were really disappointed because this is the second time it happened to them. I think 2-3 years ago they lost to Tix. Again,
the Angel song.
Yeah. So I think they're kind of, at least the day after the final, they said they're done with Eurovision. So we'll see whether they'll change their mind. But
well, look what you have done, Norway.
I don't know, but I think it's a bit butthurt to say that too.
Yeah.
Because the first song I thought was the best that they had. It displayed the northern lights. They were dressed in these northern animals. It all seemed like it fit the pop Eurovision vibe, but it was also catchy, and I loved it. And then from there, it's not been as impressive, I thought.
Yeah, but I guess just overall, looking at the Norway's selection process now that it has wrapped up, I feel like you could send any of these songs to Eurovision and it would still be a solid performance. I couldn't say the same about some of the countries that we have been or we will be discussing. So I think, kudos to Norway. It's a pleasure to watch it.
Production level performance, the size of that arena, the number of people in the audience. Amazing show.
Cool. Speaking of lower production performances, let's talk about Malta next. Personally, from last year's Malta's performance, which was a song, Do You Wanna Dance?
Oh, I missed the busker.
Exactly, busker. I was really hopeful for this year's Malta's, auditions or final and stuff like that, but it did not deliver the same quality that I was expecting or aligned from having heard last year's song. Interestingly, that the voting system, again, public vote only gives 22%, gets only 22%.
What's the point?
What is the
voting?
split?
What?
22 versus 78%.
Yeah.
It's
jury 78%, public voting 22%.
It feels once again
What
like
the
it
hell?
was manufactured
Yeah, was
in
it
some
set?
way.
What's the point of public vote then?
Could it be the proportion set after the votes? 78% commission, and this is the winner.
Yeah, I know, right?
Somebody on Reddit put together a list of all of the kind of these splits in Malta since 2013, and they changed it every single year. It's like 1/6 against 5/6, then 50/50, then 40/60, then 100% public vote. Like it was just bizarre. Like it just seems like they can't make up their mind.
If this is not a conspiracy, I don't know what it is.
Public gave max points to Banana Song, which I'm sure we'll have some opinions about in a second. However, jury gave maximum points to Sara Bonici. I think that's how it's pronounced, with a song Loop, which actually then obviously with 78% split won the whole performance.
Just the right split.
Exactly. The split worked for her really well. Cool. What did you think of the winning song then?
I thought Chanel on discount.
Yeah, exactly. I wrote cheap Chanel's version.
Then there was a point where she put the blindfold on.
Oh my God, that part.
And then after, I think 2 seconds, she doesn't have the blindfold.
Yeah. What
So
was the point?
I thought that it was maybe a magic trick. That she put it on and they flip her and she doesn't have the blindfold.
Yeah. The flip was cool. That was pretty much the only part of the
flip was cool.
performance
Very
I
sudden.
liked.
But the blindfold part for 2 seconds, what's the point of that?
Yeah. But otherwise, I really enjoyed a video that someone did, basically comparing her choreography with Chanel's choreography. It's the same dance moves. It's really uncanny. The leaning on the other dancers, the leg lift whilst on the floor, the spins, how she interacts with the other dancers. It's a complete copy paste. Yeah.
And she tried to do the split, but she didn't go down all the way. It was kind of like almost 85% split.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. I wasn't sure whether to bring it up or not, because maybe it's kind of material, not stretchy in her kind of trousers or something. But yeah. 100%.
Talking of which, even her outfit is Chanel, bodysuit copy paste. But it's actually another fun thing, and maybe this is also, I kind of had it for the social media echoes, but it's maybe a good point to talk about it now. Quite a few memes actually about these black bodysuits and how many performers this year are wearing them, because the Czechia's winner is also wearing something very similar. Yeah, Malta. And then there was a girl in the islands selection wearing pretty much the same thing. And I think there is one in Finland as well. And so Chanel is really a trendsetter.
And when Brooks was announcing the results in the Islands final, she was also wearing
the
so
same
they were like
thing.
2 on the same night.
Yes.
I would also make a note that the main song verse also sounds a little bit like Schitt's Creek's Alexis song. And I would ask you to listen afterwards, and I think there's a fair comparison between the two, including the quality.
Yeah, it just kind of, I don't know. Did you guys have any other favorites from the selection?
No, in all fairness, I didn't have anybody that I generally liked.
No.
Yeah, I guess, that's my point. Kind of, we can kind of sit and criticize, but it kind of, I didn't really have any alternatives there.
Yeah, her performance was worked out and sort of done in a good way for her.
Yeah.
And she deserved to win amongst that crowd, I think.
And after those 12 songs, I did make a note that this was my favorite at the end of the day, even though it was Chanel from Wish.
I kind of felt like the Siranas was a nice performance when I was watching the recap, and then I played the whole song and I didn't like it.
Oh
so
my God,
there was like one hope. There was like one hope that maybe this is something.
That siren song, it was so stupid live. Honestly, I just couldn't believe. Also,
the costumes were
the
bizarre.
costumes stupid. Cheap performance with limited moves. hope using wet hair due to the whole sirens thing and not just sticking to the wet hair
Wow,
crap.
someone took on the notes.
Wow.
Something you could expect of a high school band performance.
Wow.
And sometimes for no reason showcases their asses.
Yeah, no, it was cringe.
Wow.
Roast them,
literal
Simona.
mic drop
Roasted.
You
just
tell them.
happened.
Somehow it really pissed me off, that performance. I don't know why. I was like, no.
No, I had hopes when I was watching the recap because I think that the 10 seconds were fairly decent. And then I watched the whole thing and I was like, no. Oh my God, no. So bad.
I watched Benidorm live, and then straight after that I watched the recording of Malta's show. And I must say, at least there were a couple of things I appreciated about Malta. There was
Good weather.
very minimal, good weather, very minimal talking. They just went from song to song to song to song.
Oh yeah,
After
Spanish talked a
Benidorm,
lot.
that was really, really appreciated. And like the songs are not memorable and not catchy, very, very mediocre. But at least pretty much everyone was able to sing, which I couldn't say about half of the Benidorm performers. So I appreciated that.
What did you think of a banana song?
I don't know, man. I thought it was a bit jokey of a performance. It reminded me of something.
Norway's Eat a
The-
Banana performance?
Yeah, the other
not,
banana song.
yeah, not that one, but yeah, just I guess, yeah, I don't really like joke performances either.
Fair enough.
I
no
like this
ballads or
competition.
joke performances.
Yeah, no, I like a nice ballad. Yeah, but the joke performances, especially Lithuania's this year's, please cancel that guy. Anyway, off topic.
Yeah. I think what I did not expect for sure is at the end him riding a banana. That
Yeah.
was
When
That
you thought
was-
it couldn't get more cringe, it did.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about this earlier, but I think we'll see a lot of these joke performances this year, trying to replicate Karia's performance, which wasn't even kind of jokey. It was,
just good.
but I think people misunderstood Karia's performance and thought, oh, maybe these jokes will do well in Eurovision, but they are not doing well in the national selections, let alone Eurovision.
I think I'll just add a final note that for those who want, if you want to have a look at the Maltese James Bond, Jan Villman song, he looks like he had a guy from Sunstroke Project to dance for him. It was remarkably similar guy from there, but it's just a comment for hardcore listeners.
He seemed like a very sweet man. At the end, when Sarah was giving her final winning performance, at the end of her song, he came to her and lifted her up and like
Aw.
gave her a hug. It was very cute.
Yeah, I hope they're friends, because if he's lifting her kind of unsolicited, that's
Yeah.
creepy. If they're friends, fine.
No, they all seemed very friendly with each other.
They-
Like
they
at the
did,
end,
yeah,
they were
yeah.
all
It's a small
hugging each
island, so
other.
they probably
They
know each
all
other.
came on a stage, and it was
They're
group
neighbors.
hug. It was very wholesome. I think they're all friends.
You cannot do a high public vote because we're just all neighbors where it won't work. Anyway, I think finally one of the, I suppose, centerpiece finals that we've seen last week was Ukraine, which deserves a bit of an overview. One of the things that I wanted to comment on before we go into reviewing all the songs is the fact that now I understand how Ukraine sends such good songs to Eurovision Song Contest.
Mm-hmm.
The jury is brutal. If you watch the live show, it's just they're gonna say to your face if they think this is a boring song.
Oh my God.
You're boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Proper Eastern European
Yeah.
style.
But it really works.
No sugarcoating whatsoever. And Jamala is a very serious woman, you know?
Yeah.
She's not gonna joke about it. And even so Verka Serduchka was also, that was one of the jury members. Like, even though he has this jokey persona, he was a very serious jury member as well.
And interestingly, you can feel throughout the whole performance that they're not judging to send a good song to Eurovision. They're judging if this song will win the whole Eurovision.
Yes.
That's what they're judging
and
against.
a huge emphasis on the message as well. So many times they say, is this the message we want to send?
Yeah. What is the message?
What is the message?
Even before the Ukrainian final, I did notice that a lot of Ukrainian artists and previous winners were being sent to the national finals in other countries. So I think Luxembourg had Ruslana, I think some other selection had Kalush Orchestra. Just kind of those names kept popping up in various national finals, and they kind of felt like there was an attempt to kind of remind people that we're here, that, you know, the war is still happening, we're here, kind of spread the message. And I think maybe that's the focus of the national final in Ukraine as well.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting.
So I have a question for you guys. Has the race for the second place and the opportunity to host Eurovision on behalf of Ukraine started?
Are you trying to predict something?
I'm just asking questions.
Just asking questions.
Was this your favorite? I think you mentioned last week that that was your favorite.
It's very popular on TikTok, I've heard, and everywhere else.
Yeah, once again, I discovered the song a few weeks ago, and I fell in love with the track they have on Spotify. The mixing of the live performance was not ideal. The staging still has a lot of improvement to do.
I think what Jamala said as well, you need to just change the staging.
Yeah, but it's Ukraine. They always fix their staging. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about the mixing of the live performance and the sound. But they had some technical difficulties. Jerry Hale, like, she just threw out her earpiece because it was not set up properly.
Yeah, I liked it as well. I thought it was a nice overall solid performance. I wrote that the melody and the rhythm was changing up, the chorus was catchy, the chanting and the backing vocals seemed to work, the harmony, it sounded nice, everything and including the chorus, and just an overall tasteful composition, I thought. I didn't I don't know if it stuck in my head as much as some other songs in the past in Eurovision, so I don't know if it's a winner as confidently as Katrina. I don't know if I'm calling it, but I liked it. I would listen to
Glasgow
it again.
2025.
Birmingham
2025. A bigger controversy around the song is that they portray Mother Teresa as a diva and as a role model.
It's a very religious concept, isn't it?
Yeah. And she is a bit of a questionable figure. I think in the past few years, quite a lot of details emerge how she would only help kids that were Christian kids. And she would be quite ruthless against starving, dying children if they were not Christian or not converting to Christianity. So, somewhat questionable morals, let's say.
Yeah, but when you consider people voting in the sort of final of Eurovision, listening for the first time, will they think of the back end story with emerging findings and stuff like that? I think it could go unnoticed to compare.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just something that the fandom is bringing up.
Yeah, I saw those comments as well. I didn't know the kind of the recent emerging points about Mother Teresa, so I didn't really understand what was the controversy, but thank you for explaining that. I think for me, the song stuck in my head immediately, like really kind of melodic, really good. I really liked the singing of the kind of, can't remember who's who in the performance, but the first lady who kind of appeared.
Alona is the rapper, and Jerry Hale is the angelic voice girl.
Yeah, so I really liked her voice. I didn't like the rapping part that much, but I think that's just a running theme for me in Eurovision. I don't enjoy kind of rapping intervals that much. Generally, I feel like they were going for a similar vibe as Kalush Orchestra, and for that reason, I'm not 100% sure if it's a winning song, because people might just think, oh, it's another song that is kind of similar to a previous winner, and a previous winner that won not so long ago. It's not like, they're bringing something back from 20 years ago.
Are there any other songs that you enjoyed or rooted for? Clearly saying, because I have my own song.
100%. Oh my God, this one song I can't stop listening today.
Cool.
Dreamer by Melodin.
Yes.
Oh my God,
loved
the techno trance beat just, he won me.
He looked like he was on MDMA in the middle of a club.
And I was there for him. I was his support.
I saw the enjoyment in him, like, mate, in heaven.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed this.
It's a good song. Like the first 10 seconds, I was like, what is this Phantom of the Opera? Because it starts in a very...
Phantom of the Opera went to Berlin.
Exactly. And then it's Phantom of the Opera goes to Berghain.
Yeah. I liked the fact that he changed his Dracula style to this club boy style, and obviously the hair color, which is really important for me as well.
Yeah, and I think the ending where he has this kind of light projected onto the metal kind of top, I don't know, kind of maybe a little bit cringe, but I just love the look of it because it kind of created this rainbow. I don't know, I enjoyed everything.
And that rainbow maybe actually is indicating something. I think it's also like a nice message and stuff like that. I really loved it. Obviously, as every performance this year, he struggled with taking off a jacket.
Yeah.
Just don't put a leather jacket. It doesn't work. It's difficult to take off.
It was a good show. I also liked Anka with Palala. I liked Jagodi with Tsunami, a band of witches.
Of course.
Yeah. It was a good show.
Do you have any views about the second place winner, which was, I think it was
Zifferblatt.
Yeah, place I call home, because I think I'm not sure whether they were the favorites with the jury
They
were, right?
Yep.
I don't know, for me it felt a bit bland in comparison to the first place and to Melodin's song, but I don't know if maybe you have different views.
We got so much praise from the jury. I was astonished by how much praise they've got, and they're like, this is a very intellectual music, this is really good music, it's like you're geniuses. And I was like, I mean, it's a bit like Beatles-like or Queen-like or something, but I wouldn't say it's like it wasn't a genius song for me. It was okay, but
it's a good song, but the amount of praise they received was interesting.
Yeah, I could not understand that myself.
And do we want to talk about what happened with live voting?
Controversies
continue. So the show was recorded on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It was showed to us on Saturday, and voting was supposed to happen live on Saturday, with the votes being counted and revealed live on Saturday. However, the app that Ukrainians were using for voting, their DIA app, which is also a national digital identity app, they use it for many, many different things in the country.
Because it's their digital identity.
I love it. I love the fact that they're using it for Eurovision.
They use their national digital identity app to vote for Eurovision. So that's how seriously they're taking it.
They are.
Exactly. Wow. So basically had unprecedented number of voters and the app crashed. They were not expecting such volumes. So what they had to do, they had to basically delay the vote until the next day, where then we recapped all of the songs for the people again, and the voting happened then, and they revealed the votes then. But is it suspicious? I don't think it is. I believe the theory that it was technical problems, but not everyone does. One of the performers, Skylar, dropped out after these technical difficulties. She said, "This is not transparent. I don't trust this. This now turned into some PR race." And I'm out of here.
I think so. Just I guess to quote some of the numbers that I've seen, I think in previous finals they had something like 200,000 votes being counted. This weekend they had over 1 million votes.
Yeah,
wow.
1.2 if my quick maths were correct.
1.2 million votes, and 700,000 of them went to Alona and Jerry Hale, the winning performance. So yeah, you can see how it could have crashed. Obviously, if it wasn't meant to deal with those kind of volumes. But I also understand Skylar's point because it's kind of, if you extend the voting for more than a day, then yeah, it becomes who has more friends, who has more support, who kind of, it's a different kind of voting kind of organization and pattern than the people who actually tune in for the Eurovision itself.
Yeah, but surely Alona doesn't have that many friends.
No, of course. I think they won fair and square, but I understand the kind of the perspective.
As Skylar described, more of a PR race. So basically, whoever will spend the next 12 hours or so doing a lot of publicity and promoting themselves on social media will get more points, and it's not very fair. But yeah, Alona and Harry Hale, 62% of the whole vote, and then how they translate those votes into points. It's not proportional. They just go from 1 to 11. So even though Alona and Jerry Hale got this incredible amount of votes, they got 11 points in the end. And the next person who got, 10, 15% of the total votes got 10 points. So
it's first past the post system in the UK voting.
Yeah. So it's I'm happy that it ended up like it did, but it was a close call.
Yeah, imagine if it was like split vote, like split points, and then if they, for example, prioritize jury votes over the public vote. I don't know if they do, but we had the situation in Lithuania last year.
Yep.
Imagine that happening, and then you have 700,000 people voting and still not getting
versus 20,000 or something like that, and not that would be crazy.
Controversial indeed.
Thankfully, it all worked out, and Ukraine is sending quite a solid performance.
Yeah, it's definitely at the top of my list now. So we have, I guess after this weekend we had 10 performances that are now confirmed. So everyone's revealing their top 10s. So
good. It's time to finally set up that Eurovision scoreboard.
I've been voting there already. I'm on my own there. Guys, please come and join me.
Action taken. Sweden, the most looked forward usually competitor in Eurovision, is quite late to the party and is only now starting its semi-finals and heats, and I think it will have like 4 or 5 of them as well to drag well into April or something until they announce their final. They finally went with their first heat last weekend and qualified 2 songs into
wait a second. I'm gathering my notes. So even though Melodifestivalen is probably the most followed Eurovision national selection across Europe, that's the one show I didn't have time to this weekend, other than Latvia, but let's not count that.
Boo.
So I just watched a very brief recap of how many songs they had? 6. So judging on those 10 seconds, what stood out for me personally was the first guy that sounded like Avicii, Supernatural,
and
looked like Avicii. Rest in peace. And Smash Into Pieces, and I think they participated last year as well. I recognize that name. Who now? Tell me who qualified.
You are 50% correct. Do you want to guess which is the stronger performance?
I think I got Smash Into Pieces correctly.
Yes.
Let's go.
You smashed it.
I think it was an overwhelming winner because the way Sweden announced their winners is they announced the first one and then they go through some other rounds and then they announce the second one and then 2 other acts that go to kind of final qualification. So basically like a second chance, right? But the Smash Into Pieces was the first one. I think not even like the voting split is announced. They kind of seem to be like very strong.
Fair enough, because my brief comments against everything else is boring, dated, basic.
I was quite disappointed by the selection this semi-final, I suppose. I didn't like even the songs that passed personally. I mean, Smashing Into Pieces, it's a nice Linkin Park song. The skies are falling, hear the heroes calling, can't hold us down. To listen to, and they had some nice lasers, I'll give them that. But outside of that,
they had the tone the perfect balance between toilet and nasal. I love it. It's the perfect.
The Estonian performance should learn from Sweden. Right?
It's the point that everybody should seek. If you're a rock
August, you
singer,
should patent this scale of measuring someone's.
I need to come up
pitch.
with a word for it. I think because every
No,
time
you got it. Toilet scale.
toilet
Yeah.
nasal nasal toilet.
Nasal to toilet.
It's
Noise
the
to toilet.
perfect. I love that sound. It's
So
amazing.
tell me, who was the second song?
It was Lisa, Jax, I don't know how to say it. Awful Liar.
Such an awful liar.
The one that I
It's
said
basic.
was basic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I guessed it. Yeah.
She was a good singer. I thought she had a good voice, clear voice. But I also wrote song sounds a bit basic, repetitive, predictable.
I have one opinion. I was quite proud that she was singing that she was an awful liar. Usually, the songs tend to be directed to the other person and blaming people. She blamed herself. Good on her for standing
Well
up
done.
and
Quite
Oh.
mature.
yeah.
Mature message. Good
Exactly.
message.
So that's all I have to give to her.
I will say one thing about this.
One thing. I don't know how.
It doesn't even matter how hard to try.
Yeah.
I got one opportunity, one shot.
No, that's Linkin Park was appropriate comment.
About Smash into Pieces. They talk about heroes, and the song is about, I guess, the heroes, the good guys. But at the end, if you notice the visual in the background, the guy, the DJ or whoever with the blue eyes, for some reason at the very end, he turns red. His mask looks like Sauron from Lord of the Rings, and he's holding out his hand as if he's controlling them. So I didn't get the message at the very end.
Awful
Controversy.
liars.
Red equals communism,
It was a secret communist plot
maybe.
infiltrating.
Maybe.
Okay, that's the
I think
message
we're
I did
losing our
not
plot,
realize.
but
Yeah.
Look into it. Conspiracy. This is conspiracy.
I'll go on Reddit. I'll find something. Don't worry.
So last but not least is Lithuania with its what it feels like now, never-ending hits. Never-ending.
There's more to come.
There's more
There's
to come. We've just seen the fourth hit, and I'm just waiting for the look talk to be announced or something, and we can just move on with
Because
our
the
lives.
heat is not getting any higher. Right, so 2 more songs that we'll have to listen to again.
One of them is Il Senso, Time, with a public vote, won the whole public vote with jury second. And then Monica Maria, Unlove You, starting tomorrow. Not sure regarding the grammar. Maybe I'm just not understanding something. But she won from the jury and public placed her second. Thoughts?
And Il Senso won the public vote by a landslide, just like they did last year
They need to be
in their
stopped.
heat.
They need to be stopped. There's definitely some kind of vote rigging conspiracy. I hate them.
Yeah, and they're not even denying. Second year in a
What,
row,
conspiracy?
they are getting the SIM card buying allegations that they are buying votes, that they get all of their friends and family to buy 50 SIM cards and vote for them, because it's just so unproportionally.
Yeah, it was like
The amount of
3,000
votes.
something for Il Senso, and then the next was, I don't know, 700 maybe.
Yeah, and the same thing happened last year.
I fear that they may replicate this in the final and they will end up going to Eurovision and I'll be crying for
Jesus.
3 months.
No way. No way. There
Stop
is no
them.
way.
Cancel
we
Il
vote for the
Senso.
Lithuanian heat because I want to buy SIM cards now.
Shit.
I found that their aesthetics were quite pleasing in terms of the way that we've done the show. I felt it was sort of calm and pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
Hated everything outside of that, but I found it quite pleasant to
You
watch.
can tell they actually put some hard work into it.
The SIM
and-
cards and everything.
Definitely put words. I'm looking to that.
It was better than last year. I'll give him that.
I thought, whilst we were on the aesthetic, I thought that they looked like an emo improv band.
That's what I like. Apparently.
But yeah, very emo kind of, but very kind of they looked a bit stale on the stage.
Mhm.
Is it stale the right word? I don't know, but kind of just standing and leaning side to side. Maybe it fitted the song, but didn't fit the emo kind of aesthetic for me. But
I thought the choreography was super distracting. The guy in the back was lagging like 0.3 seconds with every move. So everybody would lean and he would lean in this dramatic, unathletic way to like left. And he's like lagging a bit right. And he's right, straight. And they're singing about something very serious, clearly. I don't know what, because the pronunciation isn't great. I think something with war and how have we done this right now? But they have this eyeshadow and they look a bit emo-ish, so I couldn't take it seriously, especially with him lagging in the back. if they were maybe static and if they pronounced the words better and I understood, then perhaps I would get it more.
That's a good
so
point.
deep.
The
That's
song
so
is about
deep.
time.
I think they should hire you as their PR manager.
emo
because
manager.
You're really twisting kind of voice.
I'll buy those SIM cards.
They're singing about some tragedy, some how did we get here, or about the situation, but they're the ones rigging the vote. How did we get here? How
Ask
did
yourself.
we get so many televotes? Why did we place so high up?
Cool. Okay. And Monica Maria and Love You starting tomorrow. What did you think?
So, third Monica to represent Lithuania in a row?
No, thank
What
you.
you're saying? No?
I think we already said no thank you on the second Monica.
The whole heat.
Nobody
No thanks.
listened.
Oh, now we're definitely getting cancelled if you say anything bad about the Monica. Oh no, Monica Linkita.
Second
Yes,
Monica.
yeah,
I'm not saying anything about first Monica.
yeah.
The second Monica, yeah.
In theory, Monica Linkita was first Monica to go to the
True.
Eurovision.
She's the first and the third Monica.
Yes.
To go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. For me, I think when I was watching the heat, it was kind of clear that she would qualify. I think it was a solid, like very basic song for me personally, but it looked solid. The kind of the visuals, the staging, I think was fine, and it looked like a qualifier amongst other songs that.
And it's a
didn't-
relatively big name that helps her as
Monica.
well. Yeah.
The only name we have.
Gets votes by default.
Another performance that I wanted to talk about, which didn't qualify, was the paper bag person. I thought this might be a performance that we may have different opinions on. So I'm keen to hear your opinions. What did you think, Simona? You don't look impressed
I don't have many opinions.
about paper bags.
But I couldn't see the emo look of that person, and that really
It's a big minus on the
it's a big
score.
minus in my head.
Instantly.
I mean, he had a kind of a frown, like a sad smiley face.
Actually, yes,
so,
he
so
was a
maybe
sad
he was a bit,
face.
yeah, he was
Exactly.
A bit
So
emo.
I think I could imagine he is a bit emo. So that's a plus, but he needs to show that full-fledged.
He's a big emo. In the intro, they said the song that it's some sort of weird character who's a builder and a waiter and plays some instruments, but also participates in Eurovision. And it's a song about
It's a dream life, you know.
about giving up and being consumed by our depression. And at the end of the songs, they cover him with black paper, so it's like consumed by blackness.
I think he's singing that he has nothing left to give.
Yeah.
So very emo.
A
And
discount,
very
one
emo.
may say.
There were a lot of, in the introduction, there were a lot of memeable visuals where he's kind of giving up and sliding down and kind of just lying
Outside
with no
in the
purpose.
snow, yeah.
Yeah, I found that quite funny.
He was singing quite nice too.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
And it was a he, right? I wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure either.
'Cause
I'm
his
pretty
voice-
sure it's a she.
Is it?
Yeah, the rumor has it is this Lithuanian artist called Monikaze.
Mhm.
Another
Oh,
Monica.
Okay,
Oh,
interesting.
She has the advantage of the name. I liked the mystery and I liked the clear singing. I thought it sounded a bit like an amateur singing because of the way the mic was handled too. When they were putting cardboards on the singer, you heard the cardboards brushing up. So maybe they didn't practice that very much, but
I think
I liked it.
they definitely didn't practice the post-performance interviews because they had these kind of cardboard cutout notes they were supposed to use for the interview, but they just couldn't find the appropriate notes. To the question about like the performance, they just raised the note saying where's the toilet and so on. That moment maybe was supposed to be funny, but was really cringe to me. So that's why I was a bit split on the performance. Kind of ruined the whole joke to me in the end, but overall I think I liked it because I thought it's gonna be one of those jokey songs where they can't sing, but they could. Like the singing was fine.
Admirable how surprised we are that the singing was fine in this song.
I am.
I think that's it in terms of overviews of finals and heats this week. But I cannot wait to hear what the internet says about these performances or anything for that matter in Eurovision on social media. Echo.
So I think we have already covered quite a bit of what social media has been saying, because a lot of what's happening on social media is the analysis of the voting systems, of the vote splits, and the associated conspiracies that we already covered. A couple of things maybe to highlight other than the voting conspiracies. There was a very unexpected star that emerged out of Vidbir. Anyone dare to guess?
Not the app, for sure.
No, the sign translator lady who translated the actual songs to the sign language. She was phenomenal. Oh my God. Not only she was translating the words, but she was also dancing, conveying the emotion of the song, conveying the energy of the song. And she became an instant meme. People would screenshot her and her various emotions to react to other songs in other countries. And basically she deserved a gold medal. The way she really, really translated those songs with her entire essence and soul was just the most amusing thing to watch.
And the fact that they do actually have a sign translator on such a show is actually really, really good as well and very inclusive.
Yeah.
So one thing that I came across is Austria's leaked song. I think we covered this briefly at one point in the earlier podcasts. Somebody leaked it. I don't know how, I don't know where, but in the comments.
I saw it on YouTube as well.
Yeah, people were saying, will there be a year when Austria song is not leaked? But it's the song called We Will Rave. And
I saw that trending
it sounded
on YouTube.
so catchy, and I heard only just 1 minute of it, but it's in my head for like a few days now. I can't let it go.
Yeah, I kind of didn't want to spoil myself, and I wanted to see kind of the real thing. But yeah, I played it for like maybe 20 seconds, and yeah, it was catchy.
Even the crappy sound version sounded catchy to me. So
okay, I'm going to save myself for the real thing, but I'm excited now.
I thought that you meant this was going to be the winner. When I heard the snippet, I thought that you were talking about this.
Well, maybe I'll change my mind.
I'm sure that Austria's artist would do well with Melodi and his rave moves as well.
So I saw that the San Marino finalists were announced, or at least the people and participants who wanted to kind of participate in the San Marino final. And if we are complaining about Lithuania's heat system and that it had 40 finalists, guess how many finalists the San Marino final will have, or at least how many songs were submitted to the San Marino final. So this year is 129.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's not even just people from San Marino or
it's
Italy.
Anyone.
It's, a few participants
Anyone
from
goes.
Spain,
So
Switzerland.
Nebulosa is a San Marino reject.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you see? San Marino rejects,
what a
Spanish winners.
what a comeback.
Yeah, some Estonian, Swedish, Australian performers, like anyone goes, really.
Is it like Virgin Islands for tax or something, and everybody just goes?
I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna kind of run down the number to an appropriate number of songs for the final, because they don't really have semifinals, I don't think. Anyway, some bunker numbers, and also I saw that the Eurovision hosts were announced. So we see a returning name, which I think we all love.
Guess who?
No.
Oh no.
No. But you may guess this, but I feel like you're leaning towards Mans, but Mans wasn't announced.
Was it that other lady who was there? Oh,
Petra,
I loved her.
Petra
She's amazing.
Love, peace.
Yeah, she's really funny and she's a great host. So she's returning, and alongside her there will be, I think, an actress who now resides who's kind of Swedish origin but resides in the US, called Malin Eckerman. Butchering the surnames again, but yeah, so she's a new name to Eurovision, but Petra is back, which I think is great news for us.
I'm
very
excited.
Very good news, and I'm sure Mans will have many appearances throughout the night.
Mans appears in Eurovisions that are not hosted in Sweden, so yeah, of course he will make an appearance.
Cool. So I think that's it for this week. I think it's a strong week with even stronger opinions. Thanks for listening, everybody, and speak to you or see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye, people.
Will they see us?
Listen to us next week.
Okay.